Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. In front of you on your screens, you guys see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So, guys, on your screens, inshallah, you should be able to see the course calendar. I'm sharing my screen so that I can basically show you my notes as well. So, on the course calendar, guys, as you can see, I am following the course calendar. Today is the 27th of Feb, so we are currently in week 3. Okay, and today, inshallah, we will talk about the short story I Will Try Tomorrow by Mona Rajab. Actually, from day one, from the first day I saw you, I told you guys to please make sure that you actually read this short story so that we can actually talk about it, so that we can explain it. Obviously, it would be much better to meet in person, to meet physically in class, but as you guys know, Taban, it's almost impossible to find a day and time that is suitable for everybody. You know, everyone has dhuruf, people have other classes, and it's always a hassle, to be honest. That's why I'm actually recording this session. I will put the recording up on YouTube or something, so that in case people, are unable to attend, they will always be able to go back and watch this recording, okay? Did you guys read the short story? Were you guys able to read the short story I Will Try Tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, that's good to know, guys. If you read the story, you should know by now that the story isn't too demanding. It's not too difficult. It's kind of straightforward, to be honest. You don't really have a lot of hard words in the story. And I think we should be able to kind of, after today's session, we should be able to actually get a solid understanding of what happened in the story, the main characters, and so on and so forth, okay? Do you guys remember what we talked about last week? It's there on your screen, but do you guys remember what we talked about?
Yeah, the 6 elements, we talked in details about them.
Exactly, yes, Sarah, thank you, exactly. If you guys remember, we talked about the 6 elements of fiction. Do you remember what they are, Sarah?
Yes, character, plot, setting, theme, point of view, style.
Exactly. As Sarah mentioned, guys, we have 6 elements of fiction. These elements make a story what it is. If you remove one of the elements, you basically don't have a story anymore. That's why we have books which are called fiction and books which are called non-fiction. Fiction is basically a story. Anything which is fiction has to have all 6 key elements of fiction, which are the ones that Sarah just mentioned: character, plot, setting, point of view, style, and theme. These are the 6 elements of fiction. Books which are considered non-fiction, they don't have these 6 elements of fiction. So books telling you how to, how to invest your money, books that show you how to become a better version of yourself, books that tell you how to find the right partner in life, books that tell you how to manage your money, whatever, things like that. Those are all examples of books which are non-fiction, because we simply don't have a story. Okay, a story has to have the 6 elements of fiction, which are taban: character, plot, setting, point of view, style, and theme. Yeah, we talked about that last week, and then the week before, the first time I met you guys, if you remember, I just gave you a brief introduction about literature itself, the importance of this course, and we talked about the 4 genres in literature, which are obviously, again, we have fiction, non-fiction, drama, and poetry. Okay, today is the 27th of Feb. So we are in week 3 at the moment. So we will go over I Will Try Tomorrow, inshallah, by Mona Rajab. She's an Egyptian writer. And next time I see you guys, inshallah, we will cover Dead Man's Path by Chinua Achebe. Dead Man's Path is a beautiful short story written by a Nigerian writer, okay, by a Nigerian author. And then, guys, don't forget, please, on week 5 we will have our first quiz. Our first quiz will include both short stories. Okay, so I will ask you to maybe answer a few questions based on the last 2 stories we covered, which were of course I Will Try Tomorrow and Dead Man's Path. So please make sure that you guys are ready for the week 5. Sorry, I believe it will be 13th of March, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have our first quiz on the 13th of March, and we'll have our quiz one over there. And then the week after that, guys, we will have Taban Ramadan. I believe Ramadan will start, I think, on the 23rd of March, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So before the midterm, we should be done with at least 3 short stories. We should be done with I Will Try Tomorrow, Dead Man's Path, and a handful of dates. Okay. Now, before I dive into I Will Try Tomorrow, if you have any questions, please, you can raise your hand. By the way, there's a way where you can raise your hand on this application. So if you want to ask anything, please, yes, go ahead. Who's Ahmed? Yes, Ahmed, go ahead.
I want to ask about how can I answer in the midterm exam or in the quizzes exam, or which question is be go in the test?
Your question is, Ahmed, what are the texts that are that are included in the midterm exam, or what exactly? I didn't quite understand your.
And the text on quiz. Sorry, on quiz.
Oh, you mean for the quiz? Okay. What about it, Ahmed?
Which quiz? Which question is be on the quiz? Only quizzes.
For the quizzes, Ahmed, for quiz number 1, as you can see over here on the course calendar, I will basically ask you simple questions about I Will Try Tomorrow and Dead Man's Path. Okay, Ahmed?
It's two story for quiz 1.
Yes, exactly. So I will ask you just simple questions, Ahmed, about the first 2 stories that we covered together. I Will Try Tomorrow and Dead Man's Path.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, always welcome, Ahmed. Ahmed, you joined finally, huh?
Yes.
Akhiran. What was wrong, Ahmed?
Because the some technical problem, but I'm solved it by join with the code of the meeting.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, great. Okay, guys, so before I dive into the story, before we talk a bit about I Will Try Tomorrow, let's talk about something I was supposed to talk about last week, but I didn't have enough time, so I'll talk a bit about that. And that's all about, I want to talk a bit about critical thinking, critical reading, and critical writing, okay? So let me just quickly put this on the screen for you guys. This was something I was supposed to cover last week, but because we finished exactly on time, I thought I'd maybe postpone it until the week after, okay? So I'll just... I'll put this on your screens. And guys, what I'll talk about right now is very important when it comes to approaching a story or a text. So the next time you approach a text, the next time you approach a story, please make sure you indulge or you engage in critical reading, thinking, and writing. If you remember, I did just briefly talk a bit about the word critique. Week 1, the first time I saw you, we talked about the word critique. Critique does not mean looking for negatives. Okay, so let's talk a bit about this. The next time you guys approach a story, a text, anything, even a movie, right? I want you guys to engage in something called critical reading, critical thinking, and critical writing. Let's look at critical reading first of all, okay? So what is critical reading? Let me just zoom in for you so that you guys can clearly see. Yeah, okay, I'll zoom in here. Yeah. So guys, critical reading basically asks you to read every word carefully, paying attention to the smallest of details in a text. Okay, so guys, the next time you read a story, the next time your teacher gives you a passage, an article, something to read, I want you to read everything very carefully. You pay attention to everything. Why? Because if you don't do that, you won't really get a deeper understanding of the text. Sometimes the writer might try to fool you. Sometimes the writer might try to make you think a certain way, whereas he wants you to understand something else, something totally different. So critical reading asks you to read every word carefully, paying attention to the smallest of details in a text. To find the deeper and hidden meaning of a text, you must read between the lines. What does that mean? That means you read what is written, what is explicit, and you think about what is suggested, implicit. Okay? So you go beyond the surface of the printed words and you approach a text like a detective looking for clues on the following, which I'll read to you in a second. Okay guys, so there's something which is very important. Whenever you read a text, whenever you read a short story, don't only look at what is written, think about what is suggested. You understand? For example, let's say we're all sitting in class right now and I say, can you close the door? Why did Mr. Farhan say, can you please close the door? Am I trying to maybe share a secret with you? Am I trying to maybe hide something from you? Am I maybe bothered by the noise outside? Do you understand? So just by saying, can you please close the door? This is, what I said on the surface is just, telling you to please close the door. But what about the suggested? What about the implicit meaning? What do I want exactly? Why am I asking you to close the door? Is it because I want to share something sensitive with you? Is it because I'm worried that someone might hear me from outside? Is it because of the noise that is outside? So don't only think about what is said, but think of the suggested meaning behind what I said. So that's why here it says go beyond. You see, go beyond the surface and approach a text like a detective looking for clues on. So what do you look for clues? What kind of clues do you look for? You look for clues on the following: what is written on the surface level. Okay, this is the easiest one. So you look at what is written on the surface level. Number 2 or B, what is suggested on a deeper level, right? For example, if you're married and your husband or wife, they say, can we please talk? Can we like sit and talk? If you're a guy, Dawood, I think you probably know this because you're married. If your wife tells you, Dawood, can we talk? It means there's, oh my God, something big is going to happen, right? Or we have to sit down and talk. There's a big musibah happening, right? So what is suggested on, right, Dawood?
Yes, most likely, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Every time my wife tells me, Muhammad, we have to talk, I'm like, oh no, what did I do? What was the crime I committed? I have to keep my voice down because my wife she's somewhere in the house. Anyways, what is suggested on a deeper level, and then how it is written. So look at the way it is written in the text. Think of the tone. Is it serious? Is it comical? Is it argumentative? You understand? And what is the author's goal? Try to think of the author's goal. Is he trying to persuade you, for example? Is he trying to inform you? Is he trying to mock you, for example? Is he trying to mock a certain idea? Is he trying to make fun of a certain idea? What is the author's point of view? Is he or she in favor of a particular side? Is the author objective in his work? Or misleading maybe? Is there bias somewhere? So guys, you have to take all of this into consideration the next time you actually try to critically read a text. Yes? For example, imagine I wanted to get a better understanding of the Palestinian situation. Do you think it's a good idea to read a book written by an Israeli, for example?
No.
No, of course not. Exactly, yes. Because the Israeli will not be fair. He or she will probably not be very objective. There will probably be some bias. You understand? So, again, the next time you read something, ask yourself certain questions. What is written on the surface level? What is written? What is suggested? What is it? Let's go beyond the surface level. How is this text written? How is this story written? Is it serious? Is it funny? Is it argumentative? What's the goal of this writer? What was the writer's goal? Is he trying to give us certain information? Is he trying to make fun of a situation? Is he trying to persuade us? And what is the POV? What is the point of view of this writer? Because everyone has an agenda, let's be honest. Everyone has a certain point of view. Even news channels. Think of like news channels, right? The next time you watch the news, every news channel has a certain agenda. They have a certain bias. So you understand? Some news channels are in favor of the Europeans and the Americans. Some are in favor of the whatever. You understand? So every news channel has a certain bias. That's why it's always a good idea to basically the next time, if you're trying to listen to the news, listen to the same news item but from a different perspective. Listen to the Western media, listen to the Arab media, for example, and then you might get a better overall understanding of what's happening around the world. Again, I think I gave you this example. It's like, imagine you want to know more about Mr. Farran as a teacher. You don't only ask people who failed in my class. That won't be fair. You have to ask people who passed in my class, people who probably failed in my class. You have to ask different people who took different courses with me. So maybe ask students who took EL119 with me, EL118, EL121, and so on and so forth. The more, let's say, the more perspectives, the more angles you take of a certain subject, the better overall picture that you're going to get about that person or thing. Yeah. So this is critical reading, right? You want to approach a text like a detective. The next skill I want to teach you is how to critically think about the text. Okay. So critically thinking about a text asks you to approach a topic or a text with an open mind, without having any preconceived notions or ideas beforehand. So guys, remember, the next time you watch a movie, the next time you approach a story, you have to approach it with an open mind. Does anyone know why? Why should you approach a movie or a story with an open mind? What happens if you don't do so? Okay, yes, Dawood?
You start to be more biased toward your opinion of the way you think, the perspective that you share. You need to think like the way the other characters in the movie or the series think, so you would get the bigger picture.
Exactly, yeah, good point, Dawood. Exactly, yeah. How can you enjoy a story or a movie if you are approaching the story or movie with like preconceived notions? It's like saying, imagine I tell you guys, let's go to the cinema tomorrow, we're going to watch a movie about space. And then you're like, space, it's all fake. the moon landing never happened. People never went to the moon. It's all a big hoax. And I'm pretty sure this movie is just a propaganda for the Americans. I'm like, Habibi, you already bashed the movie without even seeing it. You cannot approach a movie or a text or anything if you have preconceived notions, if you already think you know exactly what's going to happen, or you think and you have prior information. You have to approach everything with an open mind. If you don't do so, you will not be able to actually enjoy what you're watching or what you're seeing, right? So it says here, try to not jump into any conclusions and don't judge something automatically. Try to be a critical thinker. So again, if you want to be a critical thinker, it says here, you must, number one, be open to new ideas, perspectives, even if you don't agree with them. How else will you learn, guys? Think about it. Remember, you're not always right. We are not always right. We have this wrong notion that, wallah, we're always right. It's us, we're right, and them, they are wrong. So if you approach a story like that, or if you approach a movie like that, or like any idea, you will never truly learn. The only way to learn is to admit to yourself that, wallah, I don't know everything. And you know what? I want to learn. I want to see things from a new perspective, from a fresh perspective. Right? Even if you don't agree with them, you don't have to agree with them, but at least be open to them. You understand? And we can agree to disagree. You understand? The second one, analyze info using reason rather than emotion. Okay, so use your head, not your heart. You understand? Sometimes I know that maybe certain topics get you all emotional. Certain topics maybe might make you feel a certain way. But if you want to be a critical thinker, we need to learn to analyze information using reason rather than emotion. Think of, for example, a judge. Imagine you have a case, and you have like a murder case, or someone, for example, kills a puppy, right? Imagine, let's say someone kills a puppy, and then the judge, he loves puppies, for example, and he gets emotionally attached to this puppy, right? Then the judge won't be able to make a fair decision because his heart is now involved in this case. You understand? So you cannot let your emotions run you. You have to use reason rather than emotion. If you let emotion take control of you, you're not using your head anymore, and so therefore you're not really critically thinking about the text or about whatever, the movie or the situation anymore. But you have to be more, let's say, reasonable rather than emotional. Number 3, be skeptical. Don't automatically believe everything you read. So again, this is like especially true when it comes to the news. When you're watching the news, if you're reading a magazine, reading a newspaper, always be skeptical, right? Always ask questions. Be curious, you understand? Don't believe everything you read, because if you had to believe everything you read, you're going to be misinformed. You're going to be misinformed, right? Not everyone has good intentions. Some news channels, for example, want to intentionally mislead their people. So be skeptical. A critical thinker does not believe everything he or she sees. And the last one is be active and be curious. Ask questions and analyze information. Very, very important. The only way to get a solid understanding of a topic or a movie or a story is to actually be active and to be curious and to ask questions. Why did the author use this? Why did the author do that? Why did the author have a little girl over here? Why is the villain always a big bad wolf? You understand? Was the Joker born this way, or did the Joker become evil, for example? Why is Batman wearing a suit? Why does Batman change his voice? Whatever, you understand? The more questions you ask, the better the overall understanding you're going to get of a movie, story, thing, news item, and so on and so forth, okay? And then the last one is critical writing. Critical writing asks you to use evidence and examples to help support your own ideas to make you a more convincing and reliable author. Your opinion by itself might not be enough to persuade the reader, so you must provide evidence to help strengthen your argument. Okay, guys? So if you want to be a good critical writer, you must try to get evidence to support what you're trying to say. Because let's be honest, guys, your opinion by itself is not that convincing. It's not that persuasive. I think I gave you this example before. Imagine you ask someone, did dinosaurs exist? And your friend says, yes, dinosaurs existed. And you're like, where's your proof? Can you please prove it to me that dinosaurs actually existed? And your friend says, yeah, Ammi, come on, I'm your friend. You know me, come on. I'm reliable, I'm your friend. I wouldn't lie to you. Or your friend says, Kefi, come on, you know me, come on. I'm older than you. I have more experience. Of course dinosaurs existed. And you're like, Yalla, where's your proof? He's like, yeah, I'm your friend. Come on, I wouldn't lie to you. So your friend's opinion by itself isn't really a solid argument. It's not very persuasive. Whereas if you give people, if you give people evidence, you are more likely going to convince them. And that's exactly what you have to do, guys. When it comes to academic work, when it comes to your studies in AOU, you have to learn to give examples and evidence to help support your opinion, to make it stronger, to make it more convincing to the reader. You understand, guys? So again, these three things, they work together, guys. So you have to critically read the text, you have to approach a text or a story or a movie as a detective. Think of what is written on the text, think of what's given in front of you, and then also think of what is suggested on a deeper level. How this story is written, for example. How is the story written? What is the author's goal? What is he or she's point of view? Critical thinking. Again, approach a text without having any ideas before. Don't have bias, so don't have like a bias in your head before you approach a text. Learn not to judge quickly. Be open to new ideas. Be skeptical. Analyze. Question. And then when you write something down, use evidence and examples to make your passage or to make your essay or to make your paragraph more convincing. Okay, guys? Let me give you an example. Let's see if you guys can actually do this. Let's see. What is it? Let me see. I think it's over this. I think it's this one over here. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and I will let you ask. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Let me just move this out of the way. Okay. So again, guys, just critical reading and thinking and writing involves what exactly? As I just talked about this a second ago. Basically, when it comes to text, let's focus on text for now. It's not what you say, but also how you say it, right? Think of these. Think of the two lines you have here at the bottom. Both of them are saying exactly the same thing, but one of them has a bit more emotion in it. Which one sounds a bit more emotional or a bit more angry? Which one's like from your friend and which one is like from your mom? Yes, Hamad. Yeah, Muhammad, go ahead. I can't hear you. Yes, Muhammad.
Second one.
Yes. Why did you say the second one, Muhammad?
Because it's written with capital letter.
Yeah. So what does that do with capital letters? What happens when you see capital letters? How do you read this?
It's shouting. Where are you?
Exactly. It's almost like someone is shouting. Exactly. So guys, the one at the top, this one over here, this message over here, where are you? When you read this in your head, you're reading it as if it's like a regular question. This is the message you get from your friend, right? The second one over here, with capital letters, you read this as if someone's shouting at you. Where are you? This is the message you get from your mom or your dad when you go out late with your friends and you don't come back at the time, right? At a certain time. You get this kind of message where someone's almost shouting at you. So sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's how it is. It's how the text is presented, right? So don't only pay attention to what is written, guys. Pay attention to how it is written. Very important. Again, let's say, for those who are married, you probably know this. Imagine, for the guys, for example, imagine that you make a mistake and you have to apologize, right? To your wife. I always, by the way, I apologize like almost every single day. I don't know what I do. I make mistakes, but I have to apologize for them. And I can tell my wife, listen, I'm sorry, right? But it's not very meaningful. Or I can say, Habibti, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't really mean it. I don't know what happened. I wasn't thinking properly. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. So even the way you apologize makes a difference. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? And with women, you have to be very careful because women don't only pay attention to what you say. What sometimes matters most to a woman is not what you say, it's how you say it to them. Okay? And this is also true when it comes to reading a short story. When it comes to reading a short story or even reading the news, you have to pay attention to not what is said, not only to what is said, but also how it is said and how it is written. I'll give you some examples in a second, okay? Imagine, this is a true story. We actually have a person who was working in an office and they were sacked and they were fired for writing emails in block capitals. Imagine you have a worker who was fired from his job simply because he was writing an email or he was writing emails to his boss in capital letters, and the boss saw it as if this guy was shouting at him, right? So even not knowing how to write properly can actually get you in trouble, right? Which is scary. Now remember, it's not what is written, but also how it is written. Look at this look at this headline from the BBC. It says 1 Israeli was killed and 4 Palestinians died. There are 3 things wrong with this news headline. Can anyone tell me what they are? What is wrong with this headline? There are 3 things. There are 3 things which are somewhat a bit biased in this little headline. Does anyone know what they are?
Yes. They put the news of the Israeli, one Israeli killed in at the top means that's more important than the 4 Palestinians.
Interesting. Okay, yes, Sarah, good point. Exactly. So
Secondly, they wrote the Palestinian numbers, the number 4 in number form to more attraction. I mean, to give more attraction to that, like the 4 number stands out, right?
It's actually the opposite. When you use words, Sarah, you put more emphasis on the word than the number. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah. There's one more. I don't know if you guys can get it, but yes, Sarah actually mentioned 2 of them. Dawood, yes, go ahead.
The choice of words that they used when they described the Israeli, he was killed. It was specified he was killed. As for the Palestinians, they said they died, which is not necessarily killed, which is a way to cover up for the reason why they died. They did not describe how they died.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good point, Dawood. Yes. Khalid, what about you? I saw your hand up.
I was about to say the same thing, but he answered first.
Okay. No worries. Yeah, so guys, we have 3 issues with this headline. And again, this clearly shows you the bias of Western media when it comes to the Palestinian issue. The very first problem we have is with the mention of the one Israeli over here. You see, usually, right? If you are an objective reporter, you're supposed to mention the big musiba first. Like if something big happens, you mention the big thing first and then the minor thing. For example, usually when you have an earthquake, or let's say you have a natural disaster, you don't mention the number of people injured first. You mention the number of people who were killed first. You say, like in today's earthquake, we had, for example, 100 people who died and 200 people injured. Like you mentioned the big news first and then the smaller one first, right? But here they mention the Israeli first, as if telling people this person or this thing over here is more important than the second item over here. So you understand? So again, usually when it comes to, like if you're reporting the news, you're supposed to mention, as I said, you're supposed to mention the serious issue first and then the minor issue. You don't say, for example, oh, guess what? Today we had a few rabbits died in the zoo. Oh, and we had 100 people killed. What? Bismillah. Wait. You had four rabbits. Why did you mention the rabbits first? You understand? So here they mention the Israeli first, as if focusing on the Israeli. Forget the Palestinians. Who cares about them? That's what they want us to think. That's the first musibah. That's the first issue with this headline. Another issue, as Sarah mentioned, if you guys look at the numbers. Why do we have 1 over here in letters, and why do we have 4 in numbers? Whenever you use words, you're trying to get people's attention to that thing. You understand? So here you actually spelled out the word. So you actually took the number, you put it in words. So here they want us to focus on this one Israeli, for example. And here, the number 4, it's almost like 4 kilos of batata, like 4 kilos of potatoes. No one really cares. We don't really care about the second part. They want us to focus on the first part only. Another issue, as I think Khalid wanted to say, and the one that Dawood mentioned, was, guys, look at these 2 words. Look at the word killed and the word died. Are they the same?
No, it tells different meaning.
Yeah, Khalid, so tell us, what is the difference between killed and died?
Killed, that means someone was the reason that this person died. Well, died could be anything, old age, disease, anything. But killed is by the hand of another person.
Exactly. Yeah, very good. Exactly. As Khalid just explained to us, if you say that someone was killed on the hands of by the hands of someone else. Someone physically killed someone else. Someone stabbed, someone shot someone else. It's a crime. Whereas died could be of, I don't know, old age, could be of disease, could be, wallah, he just fell and tripped and died, you understand? So killed and died are not the same. Again, think of the suggested meanings. Let's try to be critical thinkers. Let's try to be critical readers. Killed means a crime happened. Someone physically killed someone else. Whereas died could be of natural causes, could be of medicine, could be of a doctor's malpractice, for example, could be of old age, whatever. Could be a disease, could be a COVID, I don't know. You understand? They're not the same. One of them has anger and one of them has natural causes. Killed has anger. Died is could be natural causes, could be more peaceful, you understand? And by the way, if you don't believe me, this is actually true. I'll quickly show you. Here, this is, I don't know if you can hear this, but listen to this.
12 people, including 61 children.
I don't know if you can hear this. Wait, no, maybe you can't. Let me change the speaker settings over here. Yeah, listen to this. Listen to this news. This is from BBC, okay?
12 people, including 61 children, have died in Gaza. 12 people, including 2 children, have been killed in Israel.
I don't know if you paid attention, guys. Listen to the way she talks about the Palestinians versus the way she talks about the Israelis. Listen, okay?
12 people, including 61 children.
212 people, including 61 children, have died in Gaza, huh? Look at the word she uses, died, huh? Listen.
12 people, including 61 children, have died in Gaza.
Died in Gaza, right? Now look at the way she talks about the Israelis. Listen.
12 people, including 2 children, have been killed in Israel.
So Israelis are always killed while Palestinians just die. Unbelievable. So the amount of bias that happens is it's crazy. So as you can see, guys, Taban, when you listen to the news, you have to be very, very careful because not every you have to. That's why we tell you and you have to try to be a critical thinker, critical reader, and so on. Because if you don't do that, you will easily be fooled by the media, right? Another example is this one over here, right? You have, for example, they on the news, for example, they show you that this army or this country is here to liberate the people who are suffering, whereas in reality, the people who invade the country just have blood on their hands. Think of the Americans when they went to Iraq, right? They are portrayed in the media as people who were there to liberate the Iraqis, but in reality, the Americans caused God knows how many innocent deaths, how many women and children. Some people estimate over a million people were killed in Iraq. Why? Because they have a certain agenda. On the news, these people are portrayed as heroes, as liberators, as people who are here to liberate us from oppression, but in reality, sometimes these people have blood on their hands. They are there not to save the people, they are there, wallah, to take advantage of the resources. They are there because they have their own agenda, they're there because they want to implement their own whatever rule, and so on and so forth, right? So we have to be very careful. Don't believe everything you read, don't believe everything you see. Learn to question, learn to be skeptical, guys, right? Read between the lines, right? Have doubts. Don't believe everything you see, question, yes? Look at this picture, for example. What is this picture? What do you get from this picture? Or what is the meaning behind this picture? Yes, Ahmed, go ahead.
I think the meaning of this picture is not of all what we show in media is true.
So what you see in the media is true? Is that what you said, Ahmed?
No. I said is not in media. Not of all we show it in media is true or be right. Something is have be change the reality things or the real things.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Exactly. So as Ahmed said, maybe Ahmed's trying to say that media somehow. Yes.
The media has the power to show even an evil person as a victim.
Okay, the media has the power to show even the evil person as a victim. Okay, Arzak?
Each person shows his own angle and what he wants to show to people. So some people they use this thing in social media that they show themselves that they are the victim, but they are not. Because I'm showing you what I want you to see.
Oh, nice.
Like I'm not showing you the right thing.
Oh, interesting.
You're seeing something. Yeah, you are seeing only the things I want you to see, but the right thing or the true it's not showing because I don't want you to see it.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, that's very nice. Exactly. So as Arzak mentioned, I will only show you what I want you to see. Right? I don't show you the whole picture. I only show you part of the picture. Yes, Dawood.
The news has been known for their over-exaggeration in the news. It's either to get attention for people to watch their news or to support a certain agenda or a political party.
Exactly, yeah. As Dawood mentioned, exactly, guys. As I said before, and as also Dawood just mentioned, every news channel, every magazine, every company has their own agenda, and they can show you what they only want to show you. They don't have to show you the truth, right? Why should they show you the truth? They have their own agenda, right? So they will show you only part of the truth, or they might show you only a bit of, like they might show you, Allah, like let's say part of something, and then by doing that, they actually change the meaning. Look at what's happening in reality versus what they show you on TV, for example. If we take the Palestinian situation again, just as an example, here we have, for example, the Israeli. Here we have the Israeli, for example, attacking the Palestinian. They take their land, they kill their children, they take their women, right? They put them in jails. They're occupiers. And then on TV, what you see is the opposite. You see that the Palestinian is the one attacking the Israeli over here. You understand? It's very simple. With today's technology, with today's technology and the way we can create deep fakes and Photoshop and so on and so forth, it is very, very simple for us to twist an agenda, for us to actually turn the situation around. Yes, Dawood.
But again, Doctor, it is a human nature that we are usually egotistic. We never say that we are wrong, especially when it involves our country. We're not going to announce something that might hurt our image for another country to judge us by it.
Yeah.
So the news would rather focus on a certain perspective to save their reputation. Same story happened with the I don't know if you ever heard about the power cell, what's it called again, the big explosion that happens a couple of years ago in Russia.
Was it Chernobyl? You mean
power cell fusion? Yes, Chernobyl.
Yeah.
If you've read that, or let's say you've seen the whole story, it's actually a whole cover-up for something that they didn't even want to. They didn't want to admit that they were being cheap, but they were too egotistic to actually admit that they were. It was their own fault.
Wow.
They just wanted to blame people for it.
Yeah.
And they did, and they got people locked up for it.
Wow.
But in reality, it's the government's mistake. But that's the nature of governments in general. They tend to focus on keeping their image and, let's say, their reputation clean than actually doing the right thing and telling the truth.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, that's a good point, Dawood, as well. Yeah. I mean, when was the last time you heard of a government saying, guys, we messed up. We're so sorry. We're sorry for everything, right? Think of COVID. How did COVID happen? What happened? Someone has to be responsible for that, right? I mean, someone did something. So there are rumors that, wallah, maybe there was a lab. There was a lab testing whatever certain. They were testing. They were testing the how humans react to certain viruses, and some people claim that it was leaked from the lab. And then the next thing you know, we were locked up for like 2 years. People had to stay at home. People lost their money. Businesses closed. So who takes responsibility for COVID? No one took responsibility, but people paid the ultimate price. People lost their lives. Businesses closed. People lost money. Who's going to take responsibility? Nobody. When wars happen, right? For example, Russia and Ukraine right now. Who's responsible? Only God knows, right? We don't have all the facts. That's why I tell you, if you listen to the Russian media, they're going to tell you, "Wallah, Russia is defending itself." If you listen to the Ukrainian media, they're going to say, "We're only defending ourselves from the attack from Russia." So, guys, again, every country has their own agenda. Every institution, every company have their own agenda, and that's why we have to be very careful. We cannot believe everything we see. We need to learn to question. And the more you question, the more skeptical you are, the better you're going to be. And the more informed you're going to be. Don't listen, don't look at things only from one side. Look at them from many different sides. You understand? If you see this image, for example, on TV, you should ask yourself why. Why is the Palestinian attacking the Israeli? Is the Palestinian attacking the Israeli because he wants to? Is he doing it for fun? Or is he defending himself? Right? Why are some people called freedom fighters and why are some people called terrorists? There's actually a quote that says, someone's terrorist is someone else's freedom fighter. You understand? So for the Americans, they might see the Palestinians as terrorists, but for us as Arabs, we see the Palestinians as people who are just defending their land. Yeah? For example, I don't know if you know this guy. This guy is called O.J. Simpson. And Dawood, I think you know this guy, right?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Oh, okay. This guy, basically, he used to be, Sarah, do you know him?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us a bit about him, Sarah?
He's famously known for killing his wife, for the murder of his wife.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. And by the way, my wife asked me. She's like, "Do you look up to this guy?" I'm like, "No, Habibti, I don't look up to this guy. Don't worry. He killed his wife. I don't want to kill you yet. I might in the future, but not now. You understand?" But this guy, he became famous simply because he was accused of killing his wife and her friend. Now, guys, look at these two magazine covers. They are both very popular American magazines. One of them is Newsweek. One of them is Time. Both pictures are exactly the same. They are both exactly the same picture. But if you look at the magazine carefully, if you look at one of the magazines, you can see that his photo was photoshopped in a way. His photo was somehow touched upon. Someone played with this photo on the and put it in Time magazine. Look at the picture on the left and look at the picture on the right. Which picture looks a bit more evil?
The one on the right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yes, Ahmed. Yes, go ahead.
I think sometimes the media is change the somebody is make wrong thing, but it's make to give extra wrong thing about him.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, guys, you have here two pictures. They're supposed to be identical. They're actually the same picture, but for one of them, the editors of the magazine, they played with the picture, and now O.J. Simpson looks a bit more sinister. On the picture on the right, the one for Time magazine, he looks more evil, even though this is not the original picture. The original picture is the one on the left. But they took this picture. The editors in Time magazine, they believed that O.J. Simpson was actually guilty, and what they did was they played with his picture to make him look more guilty. Imagine, this is not fair. This is not fair broadcasting. This is not fair journalism. You are playing with someone's picture to make them look more evil, and that's why we tell you guys, don't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you read, because especially with today's technology, with Photoshop and the deep fakes that are happening, you can actually take someone's face and put it on someone else's body. It's crazy. I had a student of mine. She took my face and she put it on Johnny Depp's body in the the movie Pirates of the Caribbean. I was actually a pirate in Pirates of the Caribbean for like 2 minutes. It's crazy. Even today with today's technology, you can take someone's voice. You can take someone's voice and actually make them say something they've never said before. So with today's technology, almost anything is possible. I can make a saint look like a devil, and I can make the devil look like a saint. It's crazy. So you guys have to be very careful. Don't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you read. Learn to question, right? Again, this picture, for example. Look at this picture. I remember when the when the war in Syria happened, or like when the civil war in Syria happened, I remember I got this picture, right, on my phone, on WhatsApp. And it says, a young boy sleeping with his parents, #Syria, right? So, if you do some digging around, you will discover, or you will know that actually there's something wrong. Yes, Sarah, go ahead.
It doesn't look real, it looks fake.
Yeah, exactly. It looks a bit fake, right? Yeah. First of all, we don't bury people like this, generally speaking. That's number one. Number two, why is there a boy sleeping in the middle of the desert? Who took this picture? Is that blood or is that a blanket? Why is Syria written as #Syria in red? I mean, it's all a bit too strange. Does this guy have family? Isn't there like a cousin or like an uncle to help him? Why was this picture spread? The graves look very neat, or they look a bit suspicious. Why are there two stones, the top and at the bottom of each grave? So many questions. Where are this guy's shoes or slippers, for example? There are many questions that you have to ask when you see a picture like this. Yes, Ahmed?
I think the important question of this picture, who is take this photo, or when someone takes this photo, why he didn't help him?
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Instead of taking a photo, why not help this poor kid, for example? And if you do some digging around, guys, yes. And by the way, a lot of people saw this picture at the beginning when the war in Syria happened. Yes, Dawood, go ahead.
It's a tactic that some media, let's say some news do, that they tend to be more sympathetic. Like they try to touch the emotions of the viewers, so they would react based
Exactly.
on their emotions, not on their logic. So it's a cover-up. It's a way to, let's say, makes it harder for you to think logical. When you get emotional, the logical side of you tends to fade.
Excellent. Yes, that's so true, Dawood. Exactly. I love what you said. And that's why, guys, if you remember when we talked about critical thinking, I told you guys to please put your emotion on the side. Please use logic, because as Dawood mentioned, if your emotion takes control, your logic goes out the window. Okay? For example, look at these graves. When was the last time you saw a grave like that? We don't have graves that come out of the floor, come out of the ground. Our graves are usually like you dig a grave. You don't have a mound. You don't have like a small mountain. I've never seen a grave like this in my whole life. You understand? Why should a grave be like that? A grave is supposed to be underground. You're supposed to dig a hole so that animals and nature and weather, they don't interfere with the dead body. And why do we have a little child? Think of what Dawood just said. Why not an adult? Why are we using a little child? Again, because they want to appeal to your emotions. I'm not saying that children did not die in Syria. Of course, a lot of children died. A lot of innocent children died. But look at this picture. It's a bit suspicious. And you also have something written at the bottom, maktub Deen Da'wah or something. So you have someone advertising something as well. In reality, this is not a real picture. This was actually staged. And by the way, you have 3 graves. Look at this picture. You have 3 graves. There are more graves. You have 1 in front of the guy, and you have 2 behind the boy. The boy is fine. He's fine. His parents are alive. But they wanted to use this picture as propaganda to make people angry. And by the way, look at the blanket he's using. What a coincidence, it looks like blood. The first time I saw this picture, I'm like, oh my God, is that blood? I had no idea. Was this blood from his parents' wounds, or what exactly? It turns out the boy is actually okay. But they used all of this to appeal to our emotions, to make us feel a certain way, because the people who made this picture apparently had a certain agenda. You understand? So always question. Don't believe everything you see. Yes? For example, look at this book. This is a cover of a book written by an American. Look what it says at the top. It says, "The New Face of America's Enemies in the Muslim World." And the book is called Against Us. What's wrong with this picture, guys? What's wrong with this picture? Yes, Ahmed?
The wrong is how did they design and how did they make the bad angle of the Muslims on the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you simply have. And why? I don't understand. The name of the book is, it says, "The New Face of America's Enemies in the Muslim World." Bismillah, against us. And then they have 3 guys praying next to each other. Why? Like, what message are you trying to send to the world? That what we as Muslims, if we pray, that's bad? Or like, you have a very peaceful picture. You have a father praying with his 2 sons over here. How is this America's enemies in the Muslim world? This doesn't make sense. It's imagine I write a book and I say, the enemies of Islam, and then I have like an old Christian lady praying. There's nothing wrong with that. You have 3 guys, looks like a father and 2 sons. They are peacefully praying, minding their own business. How is this picture relevant to the title of the book? The title of the book is very aggressive. The New Face of America's Enemies in the Muslim World. And then they have a father praying with his 2 sons. It doesn't make sense. There's something wrong if you think about it logically. You have a very beautiful, peaceful picture of a father praying with his sons, and this goes against the very aggressive title of the book. It doesn't make sense. Imagine it's like saying the enemies of AOU, and then I have I have a picture of 3 students studying in the library. Like imagine I publish a book, and then you see Ahmed, Dawood, and for example Ali sitting together and studying in the library. And then Dawood says, "Mr. Farhan, why did you use my picture? I was just studying in the library." I'm like, Dawood, you are the enemy of AOU. But sir, I was only reading in the library. Like, how is that relevant? You understand? It doesn't make sense. This is a true story which happened. And you have the guy, again, these 2 pictures are exactly the same, but obviously one of them was photoshopped. And the guy is actually, he's not even a Muslim. The guy is not a Muslim. So there was this attack there was some crazy guy attacked, I believe, a church in Australia, and they were trying to find the bomber. They were trying to find the culprit, the terrorist, right? And then someone took this guy's picture and he photoshopped it and he sent it to the news, and then the news channels were like, yes, we found the guy who is responsible. He's a Muslim terrorist, and this is his picture, the one on the left. Okay, so someone took this guy's picture, he photoshopped it, and then he gave it to the news, and then the news picked up this picture and they're like, yes, we found the guy. And then the guy, obviously he saw his picture, he's like, hey, wait, guys, listen, there's something is wrong, this is not me, this isn't even like a real picture, this is the real picture. We have a guy, he's not even a Muslim, he's actually a Sikh. We have a guy standing in the bathroom, using his iPad, and he took a selfie. And someone took this picture, and they put the Holy Quran instead of the iPad, they gave him a suicide vest, as you can see over here, some bombs and so on, and they sent this to the news, and the news people took this and they bought this, they fell for it, and they're like, guys, we found the terrorist. Taban, this guy eventually ended up suing these news channels, and I don't know how much he made, but he made a ton of money because they distributed his picture illegally, and they claimed that he was a terrorist. He's not even a Muslim, for God's sakes. He wasn't even involved, he wasn't even holding a Quran, he wasn't doing anything, yet, as I said, guys, with today's technology, it is very easy to take a picture, to change it, to manipulate it, to make it look like it's more sinister, more evil, and of course, when people, if the news channels catch it, they can easily post it, and you will be in trouble. You have to be very careful. Think of the pictures you're putting on social media. Anyone can take your picture and they can play around with it. You have to be very, very careful. And this is like what, 5-6 years ago. Taban, with today's technology, it is so easy. Within minutes, someone can take a picture of yours, change it, Photoshop it, manipulate it, and make it look like whatever they want to make it look like. Yeah. That's why we say World War I was just using this kind of gun. World War II was using a more advanced gun. And World War III is interestingly this. It's not really a gun. What is this exactly? Anyone know? What's happening here? What is World War III all about?
Media, social media.
Exactly.
This is a camera.
Exactly. It's a camera, media, right? And look again. Look what we have over here. You don't have bullets over here. You have money. Right? If you can fund a channel, if I can buy a channel, and I give the workers there, like I pay their salaries, then I can tell them exactly what to say, what not to say. Right? I think it was Voltaire who once said, to know who rules over you, ask yourself who you can't criticize. To know who rules over you, ask yourself who you can't criticize. For example, in America, you can criticize almost anyone except the Jews. You're not allowed to criticize the Jews, right? And if you think about the media channels, most of them, not all of them, but most of them are actually owned by Jewish people. That's why you will never see a channel or like a group actually criticizing the Jews, right? If you criticize the Jews in America, you will be cancelled. It's very easy. You are free to criticize Americans, you are free to criticize the American president, you are free to criticize the Chinese, the Arabs, the Muslims, anyone you want. But if you criticize the Jews, oh my God, you are in deep trouble. The other day, I think it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, there was someone who tried to burn the Quran. I don't know if you guys heard about this. Someone, I think it was in Sweden, I believe. And they tried to burn the Quran, and then, people were protesting, please don't let this guy burn the Quran. And the Swedish people said, hey, this is free speech. Ironically, 3 months back, someone tried to burn the Torah, which is the holy book for the Jews, and the Swedish people said, no, this is against the law because this is hate speech. You cannot burn the Torah because it's hate speech, but if you want to burn the Holy Quran, it is free speech. So guys, the future of war is basically television channels, media. And who funds these channels? Why? Because if I can control what you see on TV, I can control the way you think. I can control the narrative. I can make the good look bad and I can make the bad look good. It's really that simple. And most people believe what they see on TV. So if I can control what you see on TV, I can control your beliefs. Yes, Dawood?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Dawood.
Yes, there has been a lot of Muslims talking about this, especially the news, that whenever they, let's say, talk about something that goes against them, let's say a certain religion, like Jews, for example, they call you anti-Semitism as a person who stands against Jews. But when they insult or kill Muslims, it is considered normal, or let's say a freedom of speech.
Exactly.
But why is it not a freedom of speech when it's something against you?
Yeah.
This is why I usually call them mercenaries, because they deliberately spread hoax for money or to benefit their own
Exactly. Yeah. Good point, Dawood. Exactly. Yeah. So, guys, again, the mercenaries basically. If you criticize a Jew, you're labeled. It becomes anti-Semitism. Then what about anti-Muslim? You guys are anti-Muslim, for example. Why is it okay to criticize Muslims and Arabs, and it's not okay to criticize Jews? You either apply this rule to everybody or to nobody. Why do people get cancelled if they criticize the Jews, and no one gets cancelled if you criticize Muslim or Arabs? It doesn't make sense. It's not fair. But then again, who's ruling? Who's in charge? You understand? If I own like a news channel, I'm not gonna show you my faults. I'm not gonna show you the crimes I've committed. I'm going to show you the crimes of other people. I'm going to distract you. You understand? I'm funding this channel. I'm the one paying money. So of course I'm not going to criticize myself. I'm going to criticize other people. I'm going to blame other people. So guys, this is the future of warfare. This is the future of warfare. If I can control what you see on TV, I can control how you think and how you behave. Yes, Ahmed.
I think some channels owners not think about the behavior or the idea of the other people. He in her mind or his mind, the money, only the money. But what the Muslims feeling, what the other people feeling, it's not on their mind.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. I mean, when was the last time you saw the Americans care about someone dying in the Arab world? They don't really care. I swear to God, I once on CNN I saw breaking news. Breaking news: Israeli soldier sprains ankle. Sprains ankle, and he twisted his ankle. Imagine, breaking news, huh? Israeli soldier sprains ankle. We have people dying in the Middle East. We have people dying in Palestine, and they have breaking news. Wallah, the Israeli soldier, he sprained his ankle. It's crazy. So again, guys, the point. Yes, Dawood, go ahead.
Actually, I've seen a video that was removed all over the social media, but I was lucky to see it before it was removed. One of the famous American actors was on a podcast, and she said, I actually visited Israel, and I've seen the monstrosities that they commit that they don't tell in the news. For example, I've spoken to some Palestinians, and they said that some soldiers deliberately shoot the Palestinians' private areas so they won't even think about producing. They don't kill them, they just stop them from breeding. So they go less and less.
Yeah. Are you talking about the one that went on the Joe Rogan podcast?
I think yes.
Yeah, she was a female, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Even the people who try to expose what's happening in Palestine, they are usually silenced. The videos are taken down, right? By the way, I used to post videos like this when I was younger, and all my videos were flagged. They were all flagged as being inappropriate. They were all either taken down. I had 2 strikes on my YouTube channel. Because, to be honest, they don't want us to see the truth. They don't want people to know the truth. When they try to silence you, it means you're doing something right. Think about this for a second, guys. When someone tries to silence you, it means you're doing something right. Someone wants to hide the truth. Someone doesn't want you to know. Someone doesn't want other people informed. You understand? And that's why books are censored. Yes, Sarah.
Sorry, we should do what China does. They take out their own apps, and other apps are not allowed in their countries. And unless, like, for example, China, I think, does not have Facebook. They have another app which is very similar to Facebook.
Yeah.
So we, the Muslim countries or the Arabs are very. Why don't they take out something similar to YouTube?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point, Sarah. Maybe they don't want us.
We can post what we like. We can post them. No one can. We should not be controlled by them. It's like we have our own news media. The Arab, what we show in our media, they do not show in the West. So why don't we have our own social media platforms?
That's a very good point, Sarah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's. I think this is part of the agenda. I think somehow they don't want us to make our own. They want us to rely on them. Think about it. They don't want the Arabs to produce. They want us to be consumers. Just consume what we give you. Because if we start producing our own technology, our own social media, we become a threat to them. Not only like idea-wise, but like even financially. We have to continue to depend on these people. Yes, that would.
It is something that they've been using for quite some time. This is called society demoralization. They brainwash the viewers of those news and series. It's even being used currently in movies. And the thing is that they set you on a mindset that makes you incapable of knowing or telling what is true anymore. Like, even if you are giving facts, you would still be in disbelief. And let me tell you something that I've discovered recently. You know that the founder of Netflix is actually the cousin or nephew of the father of propaganda.
True.
And you can look that up.
True.
So
True.
most of those, big companies who hold these movies and series are nothing more than troublemakers, or let's say people who work on brainwashing people.
Yeah.
So again, why do we let these people be in their current positions? It's because they're supported by governments who also have to have their own agenda, who are pushing their agendas into the minds of the viewers to normalize things that are not normal.
True.
And to make things unacceptable acceptable.
Yeah, that's so true. That would exactly. And what you said about the guy from Netflix is, I checked that up online, and yeah, it's unfortunately it's so true. Yeah, and they're just trying to, in a way, they're trying to destroy society somehow. You understand? They're trying to make the halal haram and the haram halal somehow, for us at least. You understand? So we have our own way of doing things. They have their own way of doing things. And if you think about it, their thoughts, their ideas are actually intruding into our culture slowly. Even a comedian once said, you don't need an army to take over a country these days. You can just control a country just by ideas. Go to any Arab country, you find Starbucks everywhere. You find Hardee's, KFC, Pizza Hut everywhere. You find malls. You find the American chains everywhere. We watch Netflix. We wear jeans. We wear American clothes. We watch American movies. We act American. Everything we do is. You don't need to have soldiers you don't need to have soldiers in a country invade a country. You can just invade them ideologically. If you can control their minds, khalas, you're good to go. Yes, Muhammad.
Doctor, on a previous course, we was talking about globalization.
Yeah.
Somehow it is Americanization. That's real. We are not globalization something. We are only making the Americans.
Exactly.
As you said, we are wearing like this as them. We are eating the same food they are eating. Hardee's, Kentucky, McDonald's, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also, we are talking English as them.
Yeah.
We are speaking English. Even we are in Arabic countries, when you go to interview for job, do you speak English? Why should I speak English? We are in Arabic country. That's it.
Yeah, that's so
Somehow.
true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Talking about metals and machine guns and all the way they are seeing us, it is consumers.
Exactly.
We are customers for them.
Exactly.
They are selling the metals and weapons the same way they are selling food, drinks, paints, clothes. They don't care about us.
Exactly.
They don't care about our blood, religion, culture. As long we are buying, we are good.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, well said, Muhammad, mashallah. I like that. It's so true. Yeah, bravo, wallah.
Someday or one day we are starting to producing something like this, they will invent us again. Big invention. The third war.
Yeah.
Third world war.
Yes.
Not only war. The one that will end Arab or end them.
Yes.
The West.
Yeah. That's a good point, Muhammad. Exactly. As Muhammad said, they don't want us to be producers, guys. Our enemies want us to be consumers. Because as long as we are consumers, we depend on them. Everything we want from them. Think of our clothes. Our clothes are American or European. Our food is American or European. Our movies, our series are technology American. You understand? So why should they send soldiers? They don't need to send soldiers. Khalas, if you can brainwash a child into thinking, wallah, American, European is good, and wallah, Arab and Muslim is not good, for example, khalas, you're good to go. You don't need to force soldiers to go to a country. And that's why, guys, the media is very important. And I tell you guys, please don't believe everything you see. Please question. Every channel has an agenda, and ask yourself, who is funding this? Who owns this channel? Because the people who fund, the people who have money can control what happens on TV, and so therefore they can control what you see. Yes? Look at this, for example. Look at this picture. It says here, making of the world's first camera. Do you believe that this is the world's first camera? Okay, Ahmed, yes, what do you think?
No.
Why, Ahmed?
Because much bigger than the reality camera.
Okay, the camera you have today is like the advancement. It's like the improved version from the very first camera. So, do you think this is the world's first camera?
No, the first camera is big, but not this. This is bigger than the first camera.
Okay, so you don't believe this is the world's first camera, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I know the idol of the first camera.
Okay.
The idol of shape of first camera.
Okay. Arzak, what do you think?
Of course not.
Why?
Because if that's on the photo with the first camera, who took the picture of the first camera?
Aha. Okay, that's a good question. Arzak is saying if this is the world's first camera, then who took this picture? That's a good question. Yeah, okay, that's a good question. Yes, who took this picture? But do you think it's possible, Arzak? Is it possible for us that this could be the world's first camera? Maybe using something to take a picture of them?
No, I don't think so.
What about this, Arzak? What if we have mirrors? Can we not use mirrors to take a picture of yourself?
Yes, we can.
Aha, so
We can, yeah, we can.
we can, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can.
so again, good question. So when Arzak first saw this picture, she said, okay, who took this picture? That's a good question. Yeah, if this is the world's first camera, then who took this picture? But it is possible, by using mirrors, you can actually take a picture of yourself. Oh my god, guys, this is actually the world's first selfie. You are witnessing the world's first selfie here in my class, just by using mirrors. Right? So again, it's a good question. Who took a picture of this camera? You have to ask questions, be skeptical, don't believe everything you see. And I'll just finally show you this one, this picture, and then we'll move on to the story. But guys, look at this picture here. Right? By the way, I was asking the students, I was asking the boys once, I'm like, guys, what do you see in this picture? And then one of the boys said, sir, I see astaghfirullah. I'm like, Habibi, your mind is astaghfirullah, Habibi, you understand? You have a maybe, why astaghfirullah? Bismillah, relax. So guys, what do you see in this picture? Who can tell me? What do you guys see? Yes, Ahmed?
I think this man is hug his sister.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Or his daughter.
Yeah, exactly. Why? على طول. Why do some people believe? I know Mr. Marran. I know what you're doing. This guy with his. Okay, I understand. It's not halal. I'm like, Habibi, relax. First of all, this guy is probably not Muslim. Number two, yes, as Ahmed mentioned, he could be, for example, hugging his sister, hugging his daughter. Arzak, yes, what do you think?
I'll have to think outside the box, so I will say he's hugging his dog.
He's hugging his who?
Dog.
Dog?
Yes.
Bismillah. Okay, yes, let's think outside the box. Let's be skeptical. Arzak said dog. Maybe a dog, it could be a giraffe, it could be a cat, could be an animal. We don't know. Let's be open-minded.
There's a dog with as long hair like a girl. There's a type of dogs.
Okay, so Arzak said yes. Why should it be human? Maybe it's not a human. Maybe it's an animal, because there are certain types of animals or dogs that have long hair. Yeah, why not? Let's be skeptical, guys. Don't believe everything you see. Let me show you the truth. This is the truth.
I was right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a human being. And when I showed this to the guys, one of the guys said, sir, no, it's photoshopped. Sir, no, this is the wrong picture. Habibi, I don't have time to photoshop pictures for you. You understand? So it doesn't have to be a person. It could be. I want to know just one thing. What kind of shampoo is this dog using? Because his hair is amazing. He has better hair than I have. I want to know the kind of shampoo this dog is using, really, and I want to use it. It's crazy. But yes, guys, let's be skeptical. Let's learn to ask questions. It doesn't have to be a human, because you don't see any shoulders here. Where are the shoulders of a human being? Right? So it's probably an animal. It could be an animal. It could be a mop. The thing you clean the floor with. Yes, but in this case, it's actually a dog, right? So let's learn to be open-minded. Let's learn to accept other points of view. Let's learn to think of other ideas. Yes? Okay, guys, just for the next 40 minutes, let's just quickly go over the short story I will try tomorrow. I hope that you guys have read the story. You guys told me that you did read the story. So I hope that you guys did read it. It's a very short story, maybe only, I think, 2 pages or a page and a half. It's written by an Egyptian author. Her name is Mona Rajab, okay? And she's a mother. And can anyone tell me what the story is about? What did you guys learn from the story? Or what is the story all about, by the way? Yes, Dawood?
The story is, to me, from my perspective, sounds like a very long excuse for someone who is not determined enough to do what they want to do.
It's someone who has someone who has an excuse. Okay, who's supposed to do something they haven't done. Okay, that's possible. Okay, Arzak, yes, go ahead.
Interesting, actually. She took a long time just to do the thing that she wants.
Okay.
And it's not an excuse. You have a lot of time. You are alone. Not alone. Like you don't have a job or a thing to do.
Okay.
Beside your children, her children. So I don't think that it's an excuse. They sleep. They go to school. They do a lot of things that they are not around, and you can do whatever you want. But I think she's weak. Like she don't stand for what she wants.
Okay, that's interesting. So we have 2 people who see her like in a negative light somehow. Okay, Muhammad, what do you think?
In my opinion, I think she's talking about something we are frequently face it to every day.
Okay.
When I want to study, oh no, I don't have time. Oh, my friend called me. Oh, my lady is asking for something. That's all of us face it. For me, it is excuse. I accept it.
Okay, interesting.
Yes, for me, I accept it.
Okay.
Because I face the same every day when I want to read.
That's good.
When I want to do anything, I always have something to make me busy, something to make me misleading to about reading or writing, or even to hear a video, listen to a video for English.
Nice. Yeah, makes sense. As Muhammad said, he says, this applies to all of us. All of us get busy sometimes. All of us feel like, we have no time, we have the roof. It happens to all of us. Yeah, that's so true. Fatma? Sorry, Fatma, I can't hear you very well. Can you please raise your voice? Fatma, your voice is really far. I don't know why. Okay, let's Fatma, can you try again? I can't hear you. I don't know what's wrong. Are you like on Bluetooth or something? Are you using Bluetooth?
Actually, I asked from the phone and the lab. I can try for the lab now, okay?
Okay, sure, Fatma. Okay, let's have Khalid just until... Oh, Fatma, yes, Fatma, try.
Hello?
Yes, much better. Go ahead, Fatma.
Yes, she has mothers, and between her desires and responsibility, she's lost.
She's lost.
Yes, because she has priorities. She don't know what she have to do. She have to organize. I don't know, or she has to make a schedule, or she has to accept the help from others.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Are you? So, do you see yourself in her? Like, do you see yourself like as if you are one of these characters, Fatma?
You mean how I find her?
Yeah, like, can you relate to the mother in the story?
Yes, you can tell it is like a global issue. All the mothers, I hope they are like that.
Yeah, that's true. Good point, Fatma. Exactly. Fatma said this is like a global issue. Like, if you think of mothers, especially in the Arab world, a lot of mothers are like this mother, if you think about it. Yeah, good point, Fatma.
Yes.
Thank you, Fatma. Khalid?
I think that I agree with what she's doing, because she's a mother. She has priorities, which are her children. You have to put your children first above everything else, even your own dreams.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, good point, Khalid. Exactly. If you decide to have children, remember, if you decide to have children, you have to take care of them. They are your priority, for God's sakes. You can't just say, I'm going to have children and then I'm going to ignore them, right? Since you decided to have children, you sometimes, as Khalid said, sometimes their priorities or their dreams, their goals are more important than yours, right? Haytham? Yes, Haytham, go ahead. Haytham al-Samad.
Sorry, this is me, but I am access from my husband's laptop.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, okay, no worries.
Sorry.
No worries. Let's have Ahmed. Yes, Ahmed, go ahead.
I think this story is focused on how can we solve or how focus on the issue of the time managing, because most of people have issue how to manage their time or how to manage their work.
Yeah, good point, Ahmed. Exactly. Ahmed talks about the issues of managing time. How many of us have issues managing our time? All of us, including myself. It's not easy managing your time, guys. How many times have you said to yourself, well, I want to accomplish X, Y, and Z today, and then nothing happens, right? You open social media and then you watch a few cat videos, and then the next thing you know, it's like Salat al-Fajr. Right? We don't do this, so we try. We try our best sometimes to manage our time, but we have dhuruf, things happen, and we don't end up doing the things we actually want to do. Arzak, yes, go ahead.
Yes, I think that she have a dream. Like, even if you are a mother, a good mother can manage the things that she have to do. You are a good mother. I'm okay with having children and priorities and taking care of the children and everything, but you don't have to put everything above your dream. If you have a dream, just chase your dream. Even if you are a mother, even a good mother that have her own life and have identity and dreams and the work and other things. Being a mother is not an excuse to chase your dream. I don't think that this is a good excuse that I'm a mother, I have to take care of my children, I have to study with them and do things for them. Like, my life as a mother, it's not around my children, all of it, not all of it around my children.
Okay.
It doesn't do that. Like, it's not like that, and it's not a good thing to left everything over and leave everything and just take care of my children. Like, where's my life? Okay, I'm a mother, but come on, like, I have a life. Like, chase your dream. You have a dream. You want to be a writer. Let's do it.
That's nice, Arzak. So what you're saying is, just because you're a mother, that doesn't give you the right to abandon your dreams. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. MashaAllah, I like that, Arzak. That's beautiful, because a lot of people do this, right? Khalas, they become mothers.
It's not good, and it's not an excuse. Like, even if you are at 50 years or 80 years old, and you have a grandchildren or whatever, you are a grandpa or whatever. Like, everything you can do everything. Even if you are an older person or anything, that may be an excuse, but it's not an excuse. Like, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, and do everything you want.
Wow, I like that. That's very nice. Exactly. I like what Arzak said. She said, just because you're a grandfather, even if you're a grandfather, father, mother, grandmother, whatever you are, it's not an excuse for you to not chase your own dreams. Okay, it's nice to have children. Yes, children, they have dreams and goals, and yes, you're there to help support them. But what about your own dreams? Just because you become a mother or you become a father, why should you ignore your own dreams? You have goals, you have dreams. Shouldn't you try to accomplish them at least? Yeah, I like that, mashallah. Very nice, Azak. I like the way you put it.
Sorry, but I forget. And that's there's a thing that that's life. Like once you will be a student, then you will be a father or a mother, and then you will be a grandparent, and then there's a levels in life. But at some level you will be a worker. So at some level you will be an older person.
True.
There's a level, and that's life. But at each level, when you come to that level, and you will be, no, I'm a mother, no, I'm a worker, no, I'm a grandparent. It's an excuses. You will not do anything
Exactly.
in life.
Exactly. Very good.
Anything, because that's life. You have to manage. Okay, you're a mother, but I have to do this. Because if each level you will say, no, I can't, you will not do anything, and you will
Exactly.
not chase your dreams, and you will not do anything in life.
Wow. Wait, Azak, I have to do something for you. Wait 1 second. Yes, I agree 100%, guys. A wise man once said, if something is important for you, you will always find a way. If it's not important, you will always find an excuse. Subhanallah. So yeah, that's so true. Right, guys? It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what you are. Mother, grandmother, father, grandfather. I don't care how old you are and what your position is in life. If you have a dream, you have to protect it and you have to pursue it. You're going to die anyway at the end. Bismillah, that kind of turned a bit dark. But anyway, life is going to pass anyway. Time is going to pass anyway. You might as well take advantage and use that time to make your dreams come true. Why should being a father or mother stop you from doing that? You understand? Yes, Sarah, go ahead.
I believe that if she prioritizes her time, she can achieve the goals that she has set for her children, for their needs, and she can also achieve her dreams. It's all about prioritizing time.
Exactly.
But she feels she's letting time consume herself with unnecessary needs of her children, which is some things can be like, for example, at one point where she washes her face several times. She herself is also wasting time. She goes, she goes and she washes her face several times, and then she takes 1 hour just going through the hallway. She takes her time. She's also wasting time.
Yeah.
And then she's busy with the needs of her children too much. She needs to give herself time also. For her, she needs that.
Yeah, good point, Sarah, exactly. Yeah, so prioritizing your time is very important, guys. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. No one has more, no one has less. Why do some people achieve greatness and some people achieve nothing? It's because you ask yourself, how are you using your time, guys? Are you doing something every single day that's going to help you to get closer to your goal? And that's why I told you guys to please read every single day. I told you guys to make reading a habit in your life, because I promise you, if you make reading a habit, you will eventually, your English is going to improve. You're going to be a better student overall, you understand? Dawood, yes, go ahead.
There is a point, but I just want to give her a little bit of let's say, I'm trying to be rightful and look at from her perspective as well. So she never mentioned her husband. That's a point that I've had in my mind.
Okay.
So it could be that she's struggling to carry the weight of her family because she's doing both the parents' work.
Mm-hmm.
So she might be a single mother who is struggling to keep up her children well fed, and she's just too depressed with the fact that she's too overwhelmed with this lifestyle, that she cannot achieve what she wants to achieve.
Okay.
Not because she can't, it's because she's too mentally tired to do so.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting, David. Exactly. If you guys read the story, you know that there is no mention of the father or the husband. Where is this person? If you're married, you know it's hard enough being a father or a mother with your partner. Imagine being a single parent. It's 10 times harder being a single parent because you have no time for yourself, right? So this could be another issue which we're going to talk about, inshallah. Let's hear from Khalid, and then we'll hear from Ahmed. Khalid, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to say that it's not on the children's fault. It's the parents' fault. It's their choice for having the children, so they should focus on them.
Yeah, good point.
And, one other thing, children grow up because later on in life they're going to leave. They're going to have their own lives. That's more than enough time for the parents to achieve their dreams.
Yeah,
Not
good.
just in that small time period, children that you decide, okay, I'm going to achieve my dreams and I'm going to abandon my children, basically.
True.
No, you have their entire lives, and then they'll grow up, and then it's your turn to achieve your dreams, not just your children.
Excellent.
But
Good.
first, have to focus on the children.
Good point, Khalid.
They're more important than anything.
Very good point, Khalid. Exactly. I like that. So again, as Khalid mentioned, kids, you brought kids into the world. Yes, focus on them, help them, but then after that, they will eventually leave. Kids get older, they get married, they leave for jobs, whatever. And then you have time for yourself to achieve your goals and dreams. Nothing is holding you back but yourself, right? Let's hear from Ahmed. Ahmed, go ahead.
This story is it's keep in mind of the managing the managing time. It's helping you to arrive your goals. For example, my father said, if you are have a fine or health body, go ahead. The dreams didn't have limit, or the dream didn't look how old are you, or how did you feel.
Exactly.
For example, after was I born, he is continue studying, and he is graduate from accounting major.
Wow. MashaAllah, that's amazing. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, if your dreams and goals don't care how old you are, what your situation is in life. If you truly care about something, you will always find a way to make it happen. Don't give up on your dreams, guys. Maybe put them on hold, but don't give up on them. Very, very important. So again, the picture you see on your screens, it says, "My mother sacrificed her dreams so I could dream." If you think of the typical Arab mothers sacrifice a lot, guys. Let's think. Let's be honest. When it comes to Arab guys versus Arab women, right? Generally speaking, Arab men have more freedom to achieve their goals and dreams, whereas women, somehow they usually get stuck at home with the kids, the housework, and so on and so forth, right? Men are able to travel, for example. It's easier for men in the Arab world to travel, to pursue their masters, their PhD, to get a job, to open a business. Whereas in the Arab world, for example, it's sometimes a bit harder for women to travel by themselves, to open their own businesses, to they become pregnant, they have kids, obviously, and generally everything is thrown on the women in the Arab world. So women have to take care of the house, the kids, and so on and so forth. And generally speaking, men are somehow allowed to maybe pursue their goals and dreams, whereas women are stuck at home with their kids. I'm just like generalizing. There are obviously exceptions, but generally speaking, in the Arab world, women sacrifice a lot for their children. Women sacrifice their goals, their dreams, just to make sure that their kids are happy and satisfied, right? So guys, this is a beautiful short story written by an Egyptian author. As I said, we can relate to it, obviously, because we are from the Arab world, or most of us are from the Arab world, if I'm not mistaken. And guys, as I said, if you read the story carefully, you will see that we actually have people in the class. We have people in class who are going through this as I speak, right? I won't have time to read the whole thing, but I will obviously read the most important bits for you. So this is how the story starts off. I will just quickly maybe highlight a few important things for you. Look at the very first paragraph. So Mona Rajab, she starts off the story by saying, she says, "Barefoot and on tiptoe, I steal away like a thief fleeing with his loot." So guys, the first thing you should notice is that this story is written in the first person point of view. So the person writing the story is also a character in the story. Okay? Remember, the person in the story is not Mona Rajab. Mona Rajab is the writer of the story. She doesn't have to be the character in the story. She could be just representing some mother, some Arab mother, you understand? It doesn't have to be her. But it sounds a bit autobiographical. It looks like she's writing a story about her life, but remember, she's only talking about a certain character in the story, yeah? So she says, "Barefoot and on tiptoe, I steal away like a thief fleeing with his loot." The word loot is like treasure. So guys, look at the way she talks about walking inside the house. Walking inside her own house, she walks on tiptoe. She doesn't want to wake up anybody, most likely her kids. And she runs, she walks as if she's a thief stealing treasure. My notebook in which my pen has been suspended for ages is under my arm. So she has a notebook, and طبعا inside it she has a pen, and she says which has been suspended for ages. So this pen has been in her notebook for God knows how long, for a long, long time. So this tells us something, that she has been trying to write for quite some time, but she maybe hasn't had the chance to write. Yeah, the idea has completely captured my imagination. It has become an obsession, and there is nothing left to do but commit it to paper. I've been trying to write for several nights, but my weariness and overexertion have prevented me. So she admits, she says, you know what, I've been trying to write for several nights, but I'm always so tired. I'm always stressed. There's always so much to do in the house. Those things have prevented me. Or in other words, my favorite word, dhuruf. I have so many dhuruf that I am unable to write. And that's why I tell you guys, we all have dhuruf. But don't let these dhuruf stand in the way of your goals and dreams in life. Because if you keep saying I have dhuruf, trust me, you will never achieve anything in life. And then she says, the pressure of time and innumerable obligations works against me, but I've grasped the idea and it won't elude me. I'm not going to let this golden opportunity slip through my fingers. No one has noticed me yet. Everyone is still asleep. So now she is so happy that all her kids are asleep. Everyone is sleeping in bed. And she's like, you know what? Now this is my golden opportunity. So she says, the pressure, she says in the beginning, the pressure of time and obligations works against me. So طبعا you can tell that this woman is clearly busy. Busy with what? We don't know. But she has obligations. She has things that she has to do. But now her kids are asleep. It's a golden opportunity. And she says, no one has noticed me yet. Everyone is still asleep. You know, guys, if you are married and you have children, when your kids go to sleep, it's almost like you are on vacation. When my kids go to sleep, I'm like, Allah, thank you God so much. Oh my God, this is so peaceful. I can enjoy my time. I can read, I can write, I can think. Because as long as the kids are awake, you can't even scratch your head. And if you don't believe me, just get married and have kids. And then she says, all I have to do is avail myself to this long-awaited opportunity to the utmost. And I have to take advantage of this golden opportunity before my kids wake up. I'll write the idea down. I'll write the idea quickly and release a waterfall that yearns to inundate the barren land. Guys, look at the way she talks about, writing. It's almost like there is water. There's like a waterfall, and all of this is going to be like released into barren land, into like a desert, into a land that is asking for water. It's useless to try to silence the hot hammer that is pounding on the gate of my fortress in order to liberate what is imprisoned behind it. I love this, guys. Look at the way she describes the feeling or the idea of wanting to write. It's like a hot hammer that is pounding, that is banging, doof, 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 that is banging or pounding on the gate of my fortress in order to liberate what is imprisoned behind it. Sometimes when you have something you want to say and you don't know how to say it, or you can't get it out, you feel like you are a prisoner. You feel like you just want to liberate the thoughts and feelings inside you. You want to put it down on paper. You want to tell somebody about it. And then she says, I'll let the words flow freely, and later I'll polish them little by little. So she says, I'm not going to worry about perfection. I will just put the words on paper, and then I can go back and edit them. I can go back and polish them. I can go back and change them. Nothing matters as much as this moment, which has presented itself to me. When no one asks anything of me, when the silence receives me with open arms, and the white sheets of paper invite me to write. I like her style in writing. It's very interesting. It's almost like the paper is telling her, Habibti, please write. Your kids are asleep. Please come right now. I love it. Silence receives me with open arms. I love this. And the white sheets of paper invite me to write. The moment begins now and will continue for a while, but the important thing is to commence. So she says the important thing right now is just to start. Once I start, everything will be okay. Okay? And then she talks a bit here about the weather. The extremely humid air makes me retrace my steps to the bathroom to wash my face several times. This is the part that Sarah mentioned, because it was so hot and humid, she was washing her face. And then she says, I close the door quietly, afraid that I might awaken somebody. Haram, look at this poor woman. Everything she does it so quietly because she is scared of waking up her kids. And she knows that if her kids wake up, khalas, game over. And it causes a squeak that startles me. Taban, if the door squeaks, it's like your worst enemy. Imagine closing a door, you're trying to be quiet, and Habibi, not now. Don't squeak now, the kids are asleep. I rush through the long hallway to snatch an hour before the precious minutes slip away. Look at the way she writes, guys. Haram, she loves, she respects time so much, especially the time she gets for herself. She is trying her best to take advantage of it. She says the word snatch. I rush through the long hallway to snatch an hour. It's like almost like she's stealing time before the precious minutes slip away. And it's true, because a minute and every second that passes is never going to come back, right? So anyway, so we go down here to the second paragraph, and then Haram, she starts to write, and then what happens? Okay, someone turned on the vacuum cleaner in my house. Anyway, and then if you look at the second paragraph here, it says, all of a sudden, while she was writing, what did she hear? I hear a voice shattering the silence of the unfolding dawn, a cry that is rising higher and higher. Mama! That is the worst sound to hear when you're sitting by yourself and trying to focus, especially as a mother. You're writing, you're in that zone, you're in that mood, and then all of a sudden, Mama! You hear that scream coming from the other room, right? Haram. I throw the pen away and run in alarm to the bedroom. My little son has awakened and wants his feeding bottle. I prepare it quickly for him so that he will not make noise, though I know that he likes to drink it very slowly. Ya Habibi. Yeah. I wait submissively while I cuddle him tenderly to lull him to sleep. When he finishes his bottle, I put him in his bed and hasten to leave on tiptoe again. Then a scream pierces me from the other side of the room. Oh my God. So her son woke up, he wanted his feeding bottle, and now she hears another scream. Taban, it is her daughter. At the very top it says, Mama, I want to drink. My daughter, who is older, always complains of thirst and cannot bear the intense heat. Right? So the girl wakes up, she talks about the heat, she talks about the mosquitoes biting her, and Taban, the mother just wants to put her to sleep because she wants to continue writing. Of course, the baby daughter says, sit beside me, Mama. Now the mother has to sit beside her daughter. I sit slowly and warily on the edge of the bed. Don't go away, Mama. I had a terrible dream. Oh my God. If you have a daughter, daughters for some reason always have nightmares. And of course, when your daughter has a nightmare, you have to sit next to her and you have to tell her, Habibti, don't worry, this is not a nightmare. It's only, don't just relax, go to bed. You understand? So, Taban, the mother now is like, oh my God, what's happening? Just Habibti, go back to sleep. But of course, her daughter she can't just go back to sleep after having a terrible dream. So her daughter says, then tell me a story so I will fall asleep. And then the mother says, I tell my little girl a story that I forgot I had told her a month ago. Despite her tiredness, she interrupts me angrily. So the daughter says, Taban, the daughter is not happy. She says, I want a new story. You know, baby girls. If you have a daughter, mashallah, they're amazing. I collect my thoughts to tell her a new story. Our voices wake my son, who stands up and begins to jump in his bed. Oh my God. So Haram, this mother who had her time for herself, she was busy writing. All of a sudden, her son wakes up, and then her daughter wakes up, and then her son wakes up again. And they start to jump up in bed, and everything becomes chaotic, and there's no point going back to the writing because her kids are they're awake, they need attention, she has to make them breakfast and so on and so forth. And then Taban, at the very end of the story, the last paragraph, you see it says here, the neighbors are awakened by the sounds of our early noise. The milkman arrives and I go to open the door for him. The garbage man arrives making a noise. Taban, I go to open the door again. I prepare our breakfast, some food for my little boy and a sandwich for my girl. I postpone writing the story that I had started and console myself over the loss of yet another opportunity to put pen to paper and bring my idea to fruition. So Haram, this lady at the very end of the story, she says, you know what, all her kids woke up, they're all jumping up and down. Taban, the milkman comes, the garbage man comes to collect the garbage. She wakes up, khalas, the night is gone. She has to stay with her kids, she has to make them breakfast, and of course her chance of writing has gone once again. But she says, I postpone writing the story, not I give up. She says, I postpone writing the story that I had started and console myself over the loss of yet another opportunity. So this is not the first time that this happens. This has happened quite a number of times before. Every time she tries to write, something happens, or her kids wake up, or she gets distracted somehow, or she has obligations. She has the cooking to do, she has the cleaning, she has the laundry, she has the preparation for next day, and so on and so forth. Just think of the typical Arab mother without a nanny, right? So yeah, guys, this story is very interesting, and this really speaks to most Arab mothers. If you are an Arab mother, I'm pretty sure that you feel hectic, and if especially if you don't have a nanny. If you don't have a nanny and you have 2 or 3 kids, it's not easy being a mother. It's not easy managing your time, right, guys? Let's just have a quick discussion, guys, so that maybe we can get a deeper understanding of the story within the time limit that we have. I might keep you an extra 5 minutes, so I do apologize for that. But trust me, guys, if we have a discussion, if we look at these questions, they will give you a better and deeper understanding of the story itself. Okay, guys? If you know the answer, just raise your hand. I might choose just 1 or 2 people for each question. Look at number 1, guys. Why was the protagonist not given a name? If we go back to the story, guys, she was never given a name. Her name wasn't Sarah or Arzag or Maryam or Khadija or Bint Affas. Bismillah, who's Bint Affas? Anyway, you guys understand. Arzag, why was this character not given a name?
Yes, doctor. I think to not present a person, يعني to be personal, not to be personal, to present a lot of mothers.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. But so, what would happen if we gave her a name?
It will be like her name, like the person. If we give Mona, maybe
Okay.
we are talking about Mona. Like she's talking about Muna's life,
Exactly.
about Muna's motherhood. But she wants to be general.
Yeah.
In the story,
Exactly.
to present all the motherhood.
Exactly. Good point. I was like, yes, Khalid.
I think the reason why there is no given name because she's talking about all mothers who are going through the same thing like this today.
Exactly. Good point. Exactly. Good point, Khalid. Yes. Sorry, the wife of Haytham. Sorry, who's the wife of Haytham?
This is Fatma.
Oh, Fatma. Sorry, go ahead, Fatma. Yes.
It is like a universal issue. They not want, it's not specific woman.
Exactly. Very good. Very good, Fatma. Exactly. As Fatma said, this is like a universal issue. This is not about this specific character. This is a universal issue with mothers who are facing, who have similar circumstances, right? Yes, Ahmed?
I think when woman is reading this story, he is keep in mind or it's imaginate the is there the main character on this story, because it's focused on their issues, which is have in his daily life.
Yeah, guys, yes, as you mentioned, if we give this character a name, let's say we give her, we call her Mona in the story, right? If we give this character a name, and now we feel sorry for Mona. Oh, haram Mona, poor miskina Mona, right? But without giving her a name, this becomes a universal issue. This becomes a global issue. You understand? And if you give a character a name, it becomes more personal. You feel sorry for Wallah Mona or Sarah or whatever her name is. But by not giving her a name, this character now represents every single mother. Not only mothers, this can be even fathers. Even people like us who are also busy, who are also having trouble, managing our time. Yes, Dawood, go ahead.
Mona wants the reader to see herself in the place of the character and feel how she feels.
Exactly. Yes, very good. Exactly as Dawood said. Exactly. Mona Rajab, the person who wrote this story. Remember, this is not about her. It could be about her, but remember, the character is not Mona Rajab. By the way. The character is or like the protagonist is the mother, and she wants everyone to see the struggles that this character is going through. Because again, if you give her a name, give her the name Sarah, for example. If you give her the name Sarah, then we say, "Oh, haram, poor miskina Sarah." This is not me. No, this is Sarah's issue. But without giving her name, everyone can see themselves in this mother's position. Even if you're a man, you don't have to be a woman to understand this. You can be a man and say, you know what, I'm also struggling as well, managing my time. I'm also, I'm also finding it hard for me to achieve my goals and dreams, right? The second question, very easy, guys. Do we have mothers like this today? طبعا the answer is yes. We have mothers, yes, throughout history, especially back in the past. Maybe today it's a bit better, but back in the past, it was, a lot of the times, if you think about it, like my grandmother, she was married at 14, she was pregnant at 15. My mother was married at 18, she was pregnant at 20. You understand? So back in the old days, Mothers, yeah, a lot of the times mothers were just housewives. They were born as daughters. They became wives, and then their ultimate goal was to become a mother, and they dedicated everything towards their kids. Even today, we still have mothers who are like this exactly today. But of course, life has improved obviously for a lot of mothers, for like a lot of women, right? Even though this goes against Islam, by the way, like Islamically speaking, a woman has the right to work. If she wants to work, she can work. She can make money. Our Prophet, peace be upon him, his wife Khadija was actually a businesswoman. You understand? The very first university ever started on earth was started by a Muslim woman, Fatma al-Fihri. Google it, you understand? So, we have mothers like this today who are struggling to achieve their goals and dreams simply because they are stuck at home, right? They are stuck at home because they are busy taking care of the house and the kids and the husband and so on and so forth, right? Look at the third question. Where is the husband or the father in the story, right? If you read the story carefully, there is no mention of Ahmed or Ali or Dawood or not. There's no husband. What's going on? Sarah, any idea?
Either he's at war or he passed away, because at some point in the story when the girl, she screams, she wakes up from a nightmare. Her nightmares are about slain children in Lebanon. So I'm guessing maybe he's at war or he passed away or he was, I don't know, martyred, killed.
Yeah, good point, Sarah. Exactly. There's no mention of the guy. We don't know where he is. He could be at work, as Sarah said. He could be deceased. He could be, I don't know, maybe business. He's traveling for business. I don't know where he is. There's no mention of the father. Arzak, yes?
It could be anything, actually. It could be divorced or dead or in the war or in the work or whatever. But I think she didn't mention the husband because she wants the focus on the mother.
Yeah.
The issues with her children and the problems that she faced. So I don't think that she want to mention the husband just to show the reader the suffer that she's having.
Good point.
In the story.
Exactly. Good point, Arzak. Yeah, very nice. Exactly. 100%.
Husband's not important anyways.
Men are not important anyways. Wow, that's nice. Yes. Khalid?
I'm thinking because the main focus isn't about the father, it's about the struggles of a mother.
True.
So it's not the father.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason why he's not present.
Exactly, good point, exactly. So maybe, as Khalid said, maybe the main focus is on the mother or the struggles of Arab mothers in the Arab world, so that's why the father isn't mentioned. And also, it could be intentional. The father is not mentioned because, generally speaking, fathers or husbands aren't usually there. Let's be honest. Right? Especially in the Arab world. Like I asked, I had one of my female students, she got married recently. I'm like, what's it like? She's like, sir, I don't see my husband. I'm like, why? He's like, well, he's at work. He comes back, he stays for like an hour at home, and then he goes to the Diwaniyah. So usually, generally speaking, right? Generally speaking, somehow husbands or Arab fathers aren't usually present in the relationship. They're usually out somewhere, they're going out, they're in the Diwaniyah, they're usually at work. Right? And think of children. When children have a musibah, they don't call the father. They're like, where's mama usually, right? Even like with my kids, I try my best to be, like a good father, but even with my own children, they never usually call for me. They usually call mama, right? Only one time they called me. They're like, Baba. I'm like, yes, Baba. They're like, Baba, where is mama? I'm like, mama. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll call her for you. So generally speaking, kids call for their moms, not their dads. Yes, Ahmed?
I think the author or the writer of this story didn't focus on her husband because she wanted to focus on the struggles or the problems which women have in which mothers have in the daily life, like take care for her children, cooking, or manage her home, or something else.
True. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very good. Exactly. So we want to focus, as Ahmed mentioned, this text is here to show us or to put the focus on the poor Arab women who are suffering by themselves. She could be divorced, as someone mentioned, or we don't know, but the husband isn't there. And sometimes when you think of families, husbands aren't, the father isn't really there. The father figure isn't really there. He's always busy. He's busy at work, busy diwaniyah, busy traveling, whatever. And the father figure is usually absent. Unfortunately, men have to take more responsibility. when it comes to marriage, when it comes to raising the children. Everything is somehow dumped on the women. Women do the cleaning, the cooking, taking care of the house, the children. Sometimes men have no idea how many kids they have. Well, I think 3 or 4. Bismillah, what do you mean think 3 or 4? Choose a number. You have to know how many kids you have. Yes, Dawood.
You can also blame the society for this. The father figures need to be usually absent because they have to provide. They have to be usually pushing to keep their family secure financially. That's why they're usually absent.
True.
If you think that if the father wasn't absent, I don't think this whole thing would be a problem in the first place.
Yeah.
She's struggling because he is absent. If he wasn't absent and he's doing his father, if he's taking care with the children with her, I don't think it would be a problem with her at all.
A good point, Dawood. Exactly, as Dawood mentioned, if the father was there, maybe this lady would have had time to write her story. So you understand, guys, the absence of the father is creating the whole conflict. Because the father is not there, this woman is now supposed to act as the mother and the father. And it's very hard being a single parent. If you don't believe me, try it. It's very hard. It's hard enough being a father or a mother, having your partner there with you. But being a single parent by yourself is not easy because all your time is for your children. You don't have time for yourself. If you have someone with you, you can take a break. You can tell your husband or wife, listen, I'm going to go. I just need to take a break. I'll be back in 2 hours, whatever. I need to get a massage. I need to just go walk on the beach. I'll be back. But you can't do that if you're a single parent. And by the way, guys, in the Arab world, unfortunately, especially in the Gulf, we have there's this stigma. If you take care of your kids, or if you do something, if you're taking care of your kids, somehow people make fun of you. I had a boy in my class, and he told me, sir, I was feeding my child. I gave my child the bottle, and his friends made fun of him. Like, what, are you the lady of the house? He's like, no, he's my child. He's like, yeah, but your wife is supposed to feed the kids. So his friends saw him feeding, he put a picture, I think, on social media of him giving his baby a bottle, and his friends started making fun of him because he's not supposed to feed his own child, which doesn't make sense. You are the father. You decided to have children. You're supposed to take care of these children, right? It's crazy. Look at the fourth one, guys. What is the main message? What is the theme behind the story, guys? Can anyone tell us what is the main idea? Reem, go ahead. Yes.
She tries to explain how difficulty of a mother to do what she wants.
Yeah, good point. Exactly. One of the main ideas of this passage, guys, or of this story, could be the difficulty of being a mother in today's world. Maybe an Arab mother, right? So yeah, one of the themes, one of the main ideas is that maybe it is difficult today to be a mother, to be an Arab mother, because there's no support. Society expects the mom to do everything, for example, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, and so on. Yeah, something else? Sarah, go ahead.
Sacrificing her dreams to fulfill the needs of her children.
Exactly, yes. Another theme, another idea behind the story could be, sacrificing yourself, sacrificing your own dreams to help your kids dream. Think of how many mothers, think of your own mothers, think of the people in your life who had to sacrifice their own dreams to make your dreams come true. Right? My mother, for example, she never pursued her goals and dreams. You know why? Because she had 4 children. And she had 4 children before the age of 26. You understand? So she had 4 kids before the age of 26. So how can she travel by herself? How can she pursue her own goals and dreams if she was busy having children? You understand? It's very hard. For men, it's easy. For men, khalas, you can just travel, find your goals, do what you want. But women get stuck at home, raising children, cooking, cleaning, and so on. So they have a harder time achieving their goals and dreams. I want just one more person just to give me one more theme. What could the story be about? What else? Okay, Muhammad, yes, go ahead. Yeah, Muhammad, can you hear me?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, Muhammad, go ahead.
It is very hard to combine between 2 works. Being a housemaid or being mother and being a writer, it's too hard.
Yeah.
Writing needs thoughtful, free time. Also, to being a mother, it's full time. It's 24/7.
Exactly.
By 7. There is no free days, no holidays. There's no sick leave. There's no annual leave. There's nothing.
Exactly.
Being mother is very difficult.
Exactly. Good point, Muhammad. Exactly. So this story could be about the difficulty of being a mother. Again, as you said, if you're a parent, this is a 24-hour job, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. There are no sick days, no days off. This story could also be about the struggles of managing your time. The struggle, you understand, the struggles of managing your priorities, your time. It's not easy, guys. Let's be honest. It's not easy. Especially with like today's distractions, with telephones and social media and the internet and YouTube and WhatsApp. It's very hard for us to manage our time because we get distracted. You get your phone vibrates, your phone rings, and ala tul you get distracted. Yes, Ahmed, go ahead.
We
Sorry.
don't have any time for anything. We are subtracting to anything. I mean, it's like magnet.
Exactly.
Everything want you. Your WhatsApp need you. Your
Exactly.
Instagram calling you. Your mother, your father, everything.
Exactly.
You are ready for all, not
Yeah.
for yourself.
Exactly. Good point, Hamad. Everything is fighting for your attention. That's why, guys, you have to prioritize. As I think Sarah mentioned, we have to be more careful with our time. Don't give everything your attention, because the second that goes away is never coming back. Prioritize your time. Ask yourself what's more important: TikTok while reading a book? What's more important: watching this documentary that's going to enlighten me while watching a silly movie? Prioritize your time. Take advantage of the time you have. Make use of the time and do something productive with your time. I'm not saying don't have fun. Have fun, but with limits. Within limits, because the time that passes is never coming back. Yes, Ahmed.
I think the main message is how to for women to how to be how to be mother with who are alive her goals or her dreams.
Yeah, good, Ahmed. Yeah, maybe again, as Ahmed said, maybe this story is teaching women that it's okay to be a mother and to fight for your goals and dreams. Because think of what she said at the end. She didn't say I give up. If I go back to the story, she says what? I postpone here. You see it? She didn't say I give up. She could have said khalas I give up. She could have said, you know what, writing is useless with children. I'm a mother, I have too many obligations, I have dhuruf. Khalas, yatikum al-afiyah, bye-bye, that's it. I will not follow my dreams. But she says, I postpone. Postpone means to put off, not to give up. This woman did not give up. You understand? This story could also be about the absence of the father. Maybe this story is like it's like a slap in the face to fathers. Fathers, where are you? Husbands, where are you? You have to take a more active role in helping your wife, helping your kids. You should be there for them. You understand? When I got married, I told my wife, I'm going to help you achieve your goals, and you have to help me achieve my goals. And she's like, khalas, fine. You understand? So a husband is supposed to help his wife achieve her goals, and the wife is supposed to help her husband achieve his goals, and both of them are supposed to help their kids. Both of them together are supposed to help their kids achieve their goals and dreams, okay? I'm going to just quickly go through the rest because of the time. How does the ending compare to the title, guys? Again, look at the title. Remember, the title of the story is what? The title is I Will Try Tomorrow, right? Here, I Will Try Tomorrow. This is the title of the story. Look at the ending. The ending says, Taban, she says, I postponed writing the story that I had started and console myself over the loss of yet another opportunity to put pen to paper and bring my idea to fruition. So the title is actually related. The title is related to the ending. Why? Because in the title it's very optimistic. Right, guys? If you think of the title, I Will Try Tomorrow, is it hopeful? Do you see hope in the title?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. I will try. Yeah, definitely, guys. Exactly. I will try tomorrow means I did not give up. Imagine if someone says, I will try tomorrow. It means you're never going to give up. Whatever happens, I will try tomorrow. If not tomorrow, I will try after tomorrow. If not after tomorrow, the day after that. You understand? And at the end, she says, you know what? I postpone. So they're actually related to each other. They're both very hopeful. The title is hopeful and the ending is hopeful. In a way, it's as if she is trying to teach people, don't ever give up on your ideas. Don't ever give up on your dreams and goals. It might be hard, but it's not impossible. Okay? This question over here, where is the struggle in the story? Taban, the struggle is very clear. The struggle is that this woman is struggling with her numerous obligations, stress, taking care of her children, and of course, Taban, achieving her own goals and dreams. You understand? She has a goal, she has a dream, she wants to be a writer, she wants to publish her own book. The struggle is that she is unable to find the right time and the peace of mind that she needs to actually make her goal come true. So there is a very clear struggle in this story between reality and what she wants to achieve. And this, guys, this struggle is universal. It's global. Everyone, each one of us in this class has had a similar struggle. All of us struggle against organizing our time. Let's be honest. Sometimes we waste the whole day. We don't organize our time. We don't prioritize activities. And it's exactly the same with this woman. But again, as I said before, if something is important for you, you will make time for it. If it's not important, you will simply make an excuse. So this woman clearly struggles with her obligations and the things that she has to do, and managing her time and managing her kids and so on and so forth. Okay. Which 3 words best describe the protagonist's character? So guys, can anyone just give me a word, maybe 1 or 2 words that best describe this woman's character? What kind of person is she?
Optimistic.
Yes, optimistic. Very good. What else? Fatma, go ahead.
Hopeful.
Yes, exactly. Optimistic, hopeful. Yeah, what else? We can say, yes, Muhammad, go ahead. Caring, yes, very good. Muhammad?
Responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
She know what she needs. She know how to make it, and she knows when can she make it.
Very good, exactly. Yeah, so we can describe this person as someone who is responsible, caring, hopeful, determined. You understand? So yeah, these are all words that best describe this person's character, because she has not given up. She could have easily said, guys, I have kids, I have responsibilities, khalas, I don't want to do this anymore. But you know what? She said, the title of the story is I Will Try Tomorrow. And at the very end she says, I postpone my writing for another day, so I have not given up. So this person is determined, she's on fire. Not literally, taban, you understand? She is determined to make her dreams come true. She is determined, she is a strong woman, she is a caring woman, she is a responsible woman, she's a mature woman. She's playing the roles of the mother and the father. She's taking care of her kids, and she still hasn't given up. Yes, Arzag?
Actually, I don't see it that way. It's not with my thoughts. No, I don't think that.
How do you see her then, Arzag? How do you see this woman?
I see her as a weak person.
A weak
I
person?
don't think like that.
Why do you see her as a weak person?
I don't think that she chased her dream or she cares about her dream, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
But don't you think it's hard, Arzak, to be a single mother and to take care of kids and achieve your goal at the same time?
It is hard. I don't say the opposite of that. But it's not an excuse. I don't see it as an excuse. Even if you are a single mother and have children and have struggles with everything, if you have a dream and you care about it, you will chase it.
But she is chasing it, Arzak. Isn't she chasing it?
Not that much. I don't think so.
Okay, so you mean she is chasing it, but she has to maybe step on the gas a bit more. She has to do a bit more, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, so guys, you don't have to agree with me. Remember, you are free to disagree with me on the exam. But remember, if you disagree with me, you have to show me, you have to prove it to me. And you use evidence and examples to say, Wallah, yes, I believe that she was lazy. So Arzak disagrees with most of us. She says, you know what, I don't believe she's doing enough. Khalas, prove it to me. On the exam, give me evidence and give me examples and show me where you think that she is not doing enough. You understand? You don't have to have the same opinion I have. This is only my opinion. Yeah? Dawood, go ahead.
Yes, Doctor, life is not fair. You often find that going through hardships and bad experiences in life makes you want to aim higher. So she is in this transition where she wants to aim higher, but she's still in the process of finding the way how to do it. And when you have a hard life, it just pushes you harder to take a step for the change.
True.
You start to put effort and to sacrifice and to adapt until the stone turns into a gem and the dream is no longer a dream, it's now a reality.
Nice. I like that, exactly. Good point, Dawood. Exactly, that's so true. Yeah, I mean, life isn't easy for her. Let's be honest, guys. Right, life isn't easy for her, right? And it's not fair for some people. So for her, it might take. If she was single, for example, if she were single and she had a good support system, maybe she would have achieved her goal and dreams. But because she has 2 kids, it seems like she's by herself. It might take her a bit longer than other people who don't have the same amount of obligations and stress that she has in her life. You understand? So yeah, maybe cut her some slack. Maybe give her some time. Again, you have to. If you pressure a piece of coal, it becomes a diamond. You understand? So give her some time to maybe explore, to expand her wings, and you never know. You just might see a different version of her, right? So yeah, but again, generally speaking, as I said, she seems like a hard-working person. She seems like a determined person. She seems like she's going to eventually get to her goals and dreams. But again, if you feel like you want to talk to her, like Arzak said, if you feel like she's lazy, then again, I will accept that answer as long as you prove it to me and as long as you support your opinion with evidence and examples from the story. Okay. The second last question: are mothers appreciated in today's world? Again, this is open to interpretation. Some people will say yes, mothers are appreciated, and other people might say no, mothers are not really appreciated. Again, it really depends on maybe where you live, the kind of culture you live in. In the Arab world, I don't know what to say. Some people say that we do appreciate mothers. Women are generally respected in the Arab world. In the Islamic world, women are like we even say heaven is under the feet of moms. So Rida al-Walidain. We have these things in the Islamic world, in the Arab world. I think we do appreciate mothers, but I think we can do a lot more, to be honest. You understand? I think that mothers deserve a lot of our appreciation. And I feel like we're doing a good job, but I feel like we can do a lot more to appreciate the mothers that we have. Yes, we have Mother's Day, but I feel like every day should be Mother's Day because mothers sacrifice a lot. Just imagine just the pain of giving birth. Just imagine that by itself. That by itself deserves a lot of praise and appreciation, right? And the very last question: what can we do to better appreciate mothers today? Well, I'll leave this question to you to think about for later. What can you do, or what can we do in our society to better appreciate mothers? Think of something. Maybe telling them that you love them. Maybe sending them a card. Maybe just telling them that I'm thinking about you. Maybe giving them a rose, taking them out, getting them a gift, whatever. Maybe being the best version you can as a child, or not as a child, as a daughter or son, obviously. Think of something you can do to better appreciate the mothers that we have in society. You understand? There's a lot we can do. And there is room for improvement. Remember, nothing is ever perfect. If you think you've reached the ceiling, then you are in the wrong room. There is another higher ceiling you can get to. Every mountain you climb, when you reach the peak, you will discover that there's another bigger mountain to climb, or to what's that word I'm looking for? To conquer. You understand? So don't ever be satisfied with the status quo. Every peak you reach, you're going to see that there's another higher peak that you can get to. Okay, guys. So this is the quick discussion that we had. Inshallah, next time when we come to class, we will have a better discussion. Like we'll have a group discussion. I'll put you guys into groups. It'll be more interesting and more fun. We'll talk about close reading, inshallah, next time. Guys, your homework, inshallah, for next time is to please continue reading your chosen book. Everyone has a book, right? So you guys are all reading, hopefully, at home for fun. I will ask you about the books, inshallah, next time I see you in class. We're done with I Will Try Tomorrow, and the next story we're going to cover, guys. The next time I see you, we're going to cover Dead Man's Path. As I said, it's a short story written by Chinua Achebe. He's from Nigeria. It's a beautiful short story. We don't really read when it comes to like literature, especially in Europe and in America. They usually give you writers from America and from Europe. What about African literature? What about the literature that comes from Africa? So this is very interesting. This story and the next one are both from Africa. So Dead Man's Path is the next story we're going to cover, guys. Please make sure you cover the story. Please make sure that you read it, so that when you come to class you can understand it as I explain it. And of course we will also have a short discussion as well, okay? This close reading part I told you about, guys, right? This close reading, it might be on the midterm or final exam. Okay, close reading basically means we're going to give you a small passage from the story, and we will ask you to talk about this passage only. So for example, we might give you this part over here where she says, the pressure of time and innumerable obligations works against me, but I've grasped the idea and it won't elude me. I'm not going to let this golden opportunity slip through my fingers. No one has noticed me yet. Everyone is still asleep. And we might ask you this question: what does this passage reveal about the protagonist? So only from this passage, what do we know about the protagonist? Well, you can say that the protagonist seems like she is a very busy person. She actually understands the value of time. She wants to accomplish something. She knows that time is not on her side. She seems like she's very stressed. She has a lot of things she has to do, and so on and so forth. You understand? So only by looking at these 4 lines, we know a lot about this main character. This is called close reading. This might appear on the midterm or final exam. We're going to give you a small passage, and we might ask you a question only on this passage. This is where you need to critically read, think, and think, and then write about the passage. You have to read every single word carefully, read between the lines, look at what is written, and also the suggested meaning. the meaning underneath the words, you understand? So that you can actually get the idea, the main idea about this, and then you might have to write a paragraph or an essay. Okay, guys? So, as I said, your homework, inshallah, guys, please continue reading your book, the book you're reading for fun. Just make it, as I said, make reading a habit, guys. And please prepare the next story, which is Dead Man's Path. And inshallah, guys, I will see you all next Monday. Any questions, guys? Arzak, yes, go ahead.
Doctor, where can we find the record?
I'm gonna put the recording on YouTube, and then if you want, I'll send the link to Ahmed or Dawood, and then they will send it to you guys on WhatsApp. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, always welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I do apologize for keeping you a bit later than the class. I do apologize for that, guys, but I really appreciate you guys joining me. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. Have a nice day, and I'll see you inshallah on Monday, next Monday, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Salam, guys. Bye bye.